How's she going, boys? Mike here. Welcome back to Grampie's Workshop. I'm glad you're here today, and I hope your new year is progressing well. So far, we're not doing too bad here at the camp, but it's only early. Anything can happen in a small town. Today I've got a quick little video about a problem that has been frying my baloney for a long time now, and I finally decided I was going to do something about it. So I just want to show you what's going on here. How many people, and I bet you there's a lot of us here, we go get our gas for our lawnmowers and our tractors and our ATVs and whatever, our small engine gear. We go get it at the local gas station and we get it in these little gas cans here. Well, I don't know, boys. I got a love-hate relationship with these gas cans. First of all, I find it almost impossible to transfer fuel from the gas can into the equipment, whatever it is you're working on, without spilling some. And with the cost of fuel these days, I would just as soon not spill any. But I realized that could be an issue. Anyways, a long time ago, I bought this gas can. In fact, I got two of them. It's made by Wedco. Now, Wedco, I don't even know if you can get Wedco products anymore or not, but I really like these gas cans. First of all, I like the shape of them, right? They're easy to carry. They had a nice hand grip underneath here for pouring. And the thing I liked most about it was they had this vent cap at the back that you could undo and you could pour out of the spout and it would run out pretty easy. The spout was not great. So anyways, I replaced it with one of these stop spouts, stop and goes, I think they're called, or something like that. But what this spout does is, in this position, it'll let vapors out, but not fuel. But anyway, in order to pour fuel out of it, you loosen the vent cap, and then when you pour it in, these two dogs on either side of the spout, when you push that in, the spout opens up and it'll run fuel out. When you're finished, you pull this away from the gas tank, and this is spring loaded. So it's stiff right now, but it's spring loaded and it springs back up and shuts off. And that, my friends, really helped to reduce spillage when I was transferring fuel. So this setup here was working okay for me, but the problem with Wedco products that I was having was the caps are just a little bit different than the caps that are on this gas can, for example. And this gas can was made by Scepter, and this cap is just a little bit different than this one. So what was happening when I put these cans here on the rack, I put a rack on the back of my car when I go to town because there was always gas leaking out of these, so I didn't want to put them inside the vehicle because it stunk up the vehicle and would spill gas. So I have a rack that I put on the back of the car and I go to town to get my fuel that way. But I couldn't get these tight enough to stop gas from flopping out. They would always be leaking gas. And like I say, I don't want to lose any gas. With the price of fuel, I want to save every drop. So what I ended up doing was, on this, wait till I take this cap off and show you. On these spouts, and even the spout that came with the tank, there's this rubber gasket here, right? So my gaskets were done. They were wore out. They don't last, they wear out. They're consumable. So I went on, where else? Amazon, and I ordered a bunch of these gaskets. And the only ones I could get, they said they're good for Scepter cans, but they're stretchable, so they'll suit anything. Trouble is, they don't. When you stretch them out, they get really tight. And then what happens is when you're trying to put them in, like, they'll peel off the nozzle, and when they come off the nozzle, even though you think it's on there, it's not making a good seal, and you leak fuel when you're dumping it or when you're trying to seal it off. But I was able to, if I was careful, I was able to get that spout in there with the seal in place, and then I can put it on here and tighten it down. So when I was pouring fuel out of here, it wouldn't leak, and even when I had the cap on there, it was pretty good at not leaking. But it was a pain because you had to be so careful with it, eh? You had to baby it. So anyway, that was okay. Then one day I was in town and I saw these Scepter cans. They're 20-liter cans, both of them, or 5 gallons. And I thought, well, I may as well get another one. So these ones have a lockable top on them. Hey, that's great. I'm never going to lose fuel out of that. And I don't. It seals off pretty good. It's kind of a pain to get into it, but you take the little plug out of the top and you have this nozzle. Now these nozzles, what they should do with these nozzles, well, I'm not allowed to say on YouTube, but they're not worth anything. First of all, they said, hey, they're flexible, so isn't this great? We got a flexible nozzle. Trouble is, they leak. Just about every one of those ribs leak. So when you're pouring fuel out of your can, you know what it's like. The fuel is spraying and going everywhere. I was able to get my rubber gaskets to fit on there good, and because it's a Scepter can, that rubber gasket fits under the black ring good, so that was great, sealed it on. But the whole idea of having this kind of a nozzle where you have the main flow here and then this is the vent nozzle here, is so you don't need a vent on your can. They say you can just pour right out of this and it'll glug, but it takes like about a week and a half to empty this. Not really, but it takes a long time to empty it. So, you know, not having a vent cap in it makes it really extremely difficult, physically difficult, to pour gas out of this, especially like I have a tank at the back of the shop and I have to hold the tank up, the gas can up high to get the fuel into the tank. It was making it hard to do that and it was taking a long time, plus the spout was leaking. So, it was terrible. So I went on YouTube, of course, and they said, hey, what you can do is you can drill a little hole in that, you can put a vent in it, right? And you can buy these vents, all just they're slick, and you get them, I don't know, they cost money, I don't know how much they were. But anyway, they said that would work. And I said, well, you know, that's okay, I guess I could do that. And then you can put a regular spout in here, or you could put one of these stop and go spouts in there. That would work good. But my wife, Janet, Nannie, she does a lot of shopping online at Costco. And Costco, for a long time now, have had gas cans on at what I think is a really good price. Well, I'll just show you. Now, these are made by Scepco. I'm calling it Scepco. It's called Scepter. S-C-E-P-T-E-R, Scepter. This ugly thing down there is Scepter 2. This is Wedco. I always wanted Wedco gear because I like the vent cap better. It seemed like better gas can. Anyway, this is made by Scepter. It's made in Canada. It's a good unit, good rig. It has the locking gas cap on it. The hardware here for closing it is all Scepter equipment. So, you know, you can get, it's easy to get spare gland rings for it. It works good that way. I expect it's going to seal gas off good. It still has this stupid nozzle, so I'm going to toss these out because I'm going to get some more of these stop and go nozzles, because this is just not worth using as far as I'm concerned. But that's just me. That goes on there. But the other thing that Scepter has done, or Scepter has done to make the improvement is they've added the vent on the back, especially on these ones, the ones that are at Costco. So you unscrew that, you get a vent hole now, you put your vent on there. They have a nice finger hole under here. You can pour them nice. So that's going to work good. And that'll seal off tight to prevent gas from flowing out. So, like, that's a big plus for me as well. Now, at Costco, they had these, two of them, for $44, I think, or something like that. So, you know, that's a pretty good deal, because when I went on to Canadian Tire to see what one gas can cost, it was like $38, I think, or something like that. $38, $44, sometimes $60, depending on what ones you get. But these were two of them for $44. I figured you can't go wrong there, right? So, I got Nannie to buy me two of them. Now, these are 5-gallon cans or 20-liter cans, same as this. Another thing I like about these is, when I was saying earlier, when I go to town, I put these on my rack, on the back of the car. So when I put them on the rack, I strap them down, of course. Because these jugs are different sizes, and I have 4 of them in all, I've got 2 like this and 2 like this. When I put them on the back of the rack and I strap them down, they're all twisted and contorted, and, you know, I'm not sure how well they're going to stay on there or anything like that. But with these new gas cans, and I have 4 of these, I bought 4 of them, they'll be able to go in the rack, and I'll be able to put my straps out here, and I'll be able to strap them down nice and tight, and they won't move, and I hope they won't leak. I think this is a pretty good deal. I'm glad I got these. I think it's going to be easier to pour out of these, and I think during transport they're not going to leak fuel out like these cans and these Scepter cans down there did. I'm going to do a follow-up video on this, I promise, I just got fuel, so I have 80 liters of fuel now sitting in the shop, in the shed. So probably I won't be getting fuel until maybe February, but or early March. But when I do get fuel with these, I'll do an update and let you know how well they made out. So if you live in a spot where you have to get gas often in gas cans, I think these right here are the answer. Get them at Costco. I'd love to leave a link, but I don't know how to do that for Costco. So check them out. Thanks for watching, folks. Sure hope you're having a great week, and Happy New Year's too. And we'll talk to you.